Hey there, food fans, welcome back to another delicious dive into culinary history. Today we're diving into the surprisingly wobbly history of Jell-O, a dessert that's as fun to eat as it is to make. This isn't just a story about a dessert, it's about innovation, marketing, and a whole lot of jiggle. Jell-O has been a staple in American households for over a century. Let's rewind way back. Before Jell-O, there was gelatin. This humble ingredient has a rich history that dates back to ancient times. Yeah, that stuff, it's been around for ages, used in everything from glues to foods. We're talking centuries. Ancient Egyptians and Romans used gelatin for various purposes. Gelatin is basically collagen that's been broken down. Collagen is a protein found in animal connective tissues. You'll find collagen in animal bones and tissues. It's what gives them structure. When you break it down, you get gelatin, which has unique gelling properties. Heat it up with water and you get gelatin. This process extracts the collagen, transforming it into a versatile ingredient. Cool it down, and it sets into that familiar wiggle. This wobbly texture is what makes gelatin so unique and fun. For a long time, making gelatin was a chore. It required a lot of time and effort, making it a luxury item. It took hours of simmering bones and other animal parts. Not exactly convenient. This labor-intensive process meant that gelatin was reserved for special occasions. But that all changed in the 1800s with a guy named Peter Cooper. He patented a method for making powdered gelatin, revolutionizing its production. And that's a story for our next chapter. Stay tuned to learn how Jell-O became the household name we know today. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to meet Peter Cooper. He wasn't a chef, he was an inventor. This guy had his hand in everything, from railroads to glue factories. Seriously? In 1845, Cooper patented a process for making powdered gelatin. He figured out a way to dry gelatin so it lasted longer and was easier to use. No more hours of simmering bones. Cooper's invention was revolutionary, but here's the catch. Nobody really knew what to do with it. Sure, you could make gelatin desserts, but they weren't exactly a culinary sensation. People back then thought of gelatin as more of a health food, not a treat. Cooper's powdered gelatin was ahead of its time. It needed someone with a bit more culinary vision to come along and really shake things up. Enter Pearle Bixby Wait, the man who would eventually give us the Jell-O we know and love. Wait was a carpenter and cough syrup manufacturer by trade, but he had a knack for innovation. In 1897, he took Cooper's powdered gelatin and added fruit flavoring to it, creating a product that was both delicious and easy to make. This simple addition transformed gelatin from a health food into a fun, family-friendly dessert. Wait's Jell-O quickly became a household name, thanks to clever marketing and its undeniable appeal. Recipes for Jell-O desserts spread like wildfire, and soon it was a staple in American kitchens. Today, Jell-O is more than just a dessert. It's a cultural icon, a testament to the power of innovation and a little culinary creativity. So next time you enjoy a wobbly, colorful bowl of Jell-O, remember the journey it took from Peter Cooper's inventive mind to Pearle Bixby Wait's kitchen, and finally to your table. Fast forward a few decades to 1897. We're in Leroy, New York, with a carpenter named Pearle Bixby Wait. Now, Pearle wasn't a gelatin expert, but he was a tinkerer, always looking for the next big thing. Pearle saw the potential in Cooper's powdered gelatin. He knew it needed a flavor makeover, so he experimented with different fruit flavors and added sugar for sweetness. The result? A tasty, colorful dessert that was easy to make. Pearle's wife, May, came up with the name Jell-O, a catchy combination of jelly and gelatin. It was perfect. Little did they know that this simple name would soon become a household word. Now let's talk branding. Pearle and May knew they had a winner with the name Jell-O. It was short, memorable, and just plain fun to say. They even trademarked it to protect their creation. In a time when fancy multisyllabic names were all the rage, Jell-O stood out. It was approachable, friendly, and hinted at the product's playful, jiggly nature. But a great name wasn't enough. Pearle soon learned that getting people to embrace a brand new product was no easy feat. He needed a marketing miracle. Section 5, Early Marketing Struggles, a wobbly beginning. Pearle was convinced he had a hit on his hands, but Jell-O wasn't exactly flying off the shelves. Despite his enthusiasm and belief in the product, the initial reception was lukewarm at best. Remember, this was the late 1800s, a time when the concept of convenience foods was still in its infancy. People weren't accustomed to ready-made desserts. The idea of a pre-packaged gelatin dessert was foreign, and perhaps even a bit suspicious to the average homemaker. They were used to making everything from scratch, from bread to pies, and the notion of simply adding water to a powder seemed almost too good to be true. Pearle tried everything to drum up interest. He was relentless in his efforts, determined to make Jell-O a household name. He handed out free samples, hoping that a taste would convert skeptics into believers. He put ads in local newspapers, crafting catchy slogans and eye-catching visuals to grab attention. He even went door to door, extolling the virtues of his Wobbly creation, trying to persuade housewives and shopkeepers alike. But nothing seemed to work. The shelves remained stocked with unsold boxes, and Pearle's dreams seemed to be slipping away. Jell-O was on the verge of becoming another forgotten invention, a footnote in the annals of culinary history. Pearle had poured his heart and soul into his creation, working tirelessly to perfect the recipe and the marketing strategy. But it seemed like it was all for naught. The weight of failure was heavy on his shoulders, and he began to lose hope. Little did he know, a chance encounter was about to change everything. This unexpected twist of fate would set Jell-O on a path to becoming a beloved staple in American households. Section 6, Orator Woodward to the rescue, a stroke of marketing genius. Just when things were looking bleak, Pearle met Orator Francis Woodward. Now, this wasn't just any salesman. Woodward was a marketing maverick. He was known for his bold ideas and his uncanny ability to sell just about anything. Woodward saw the potential in Jell-O. He knew it wasn't the product that was the problem, it was the marketing. People needed to be convinced that Jell-O wasn't just convenient, it was delicious and fun. Woodward bought the Jell-O business from Pearle for a few $1,000s. It was a gamble, but Woodward was sure he could turn things around. And boy, was he right. Section 7 Jell-O takes center stage, from recipe contests to celebrity endorsements. Woodward was a man ahead of his time. He understood the power of advertising and wasn't afraid to think outside the box. He launched a marketing blitz that would make even today's advertising gurus envious. He placed colorful Jell-O ads in magazines and newspapers across the country. He hired artists to create eye-catching illustrations that showcased Jell-O's vibrant colors and playful nature. Woodward also knew the importance of word-of-mouth marketing. He published recipe booklets filled with creative Jell-O creations, encouraging people to experiment and share their recipes. He even sponsored recipe contests, offering prizes for the most innovative Jell-O dishes. Section 8, a wartime treat Jell-O on the home front. When World War II hit, Jell-O faced a new set of challenges. Rationing limited the availability of ingredients, and many families were struggling to put food on the table. But Jell-O, with its affordability and long shelf life, proved to be a lifesaver for many families during those tough times. It was a comforting and familiar treat that could be enjoyed even when other foods were scarce. Jell-O's popularity soared during the war years. It became a symbol of home and normalcy in a time of great uncertainty. Section 9, new flavors and fun molds, expanding the Jell-O universe. After the war, Jell-O continued to innovate. New flavors were introduced, from tropical delights like pineapple and mango to classic favorites like cherry and grape. And then there were the molds. Jell-O molds became all the rage, transforming the simple dessert into edible works of art. From elegant bundt cakes to whimsical animal shapes, there was a Jell-O mold for every occasion. Jell-O wasn't just a dessert anymore, it was a blank canvas for culinary creativity. Section 10 Jell-O in pop culture, from art to salad. Jell-O's cultural influence extended far beyond the dinner table. It found its way into art, music, and even literature. Artists like Andy Warhol incorporated Jell-O into their work, fascinated by its vibrant colors and gelatinous texture. Jell-O also became a staple of 1950s and 60s cuisine, appearing in everything from salads, yes, salads, to elaborate molded desserts. It was the go-to dessert for potlucks, picnics, and family gatherings. Jell-O's iconic status was solidified, cementing its place in American culinary history. Section 11. Jell-O today, still wobbling strong. Today, Jell-O remains a beloved American icon. Sure, it's gone through some changes over the years. Kraft Heinz, the company that now owns Jell-O, has introduced new product lines from sugar-free options to pudding mixes. But at its core, Jell-O is still the same wobbly, jiggly dessert that captured the hearts and stomachs of Americans over a century ago. It's a testament to the power of innovation, marketing, and a little bit of gelatin. So, the next time you dig into a bowl of Jell-O, take a moment to appreciate its long and wobbly history. It's a story that's as American as apple pie, or should I say as American as Jell-O.